You're playing the bumper. Why do I even bother? I'm the least cool person I know. Honestly.
To join the show, call 205-723-0731. Or you can message us on the Catfish Tuscaloosa app. Now, live, Lisa Jones and Johnnie Aycock.
Good afternoon and welcome to the Noon Show with Lisa and Johnnie. We are coming to you live and streaming everywhere. The Noon Show airs Monday through Friday from noon until 1 o'clock Central Time. Each day, we bring you engaging conversations, fresh perspectives, and stories that connect us all. Johnnie and I would like to invite you to join us along with today's show guest, the Bishop, also known as Spencer Smith from Praise 93.3. So, for today's conversation, pull up a chair, sit back, and relax. And now, without further ado, here's Johnnie.
And a big welcome to everyone on this hump day.
Heck yeah!
You know, we believe that Wednesday is sliding into the weekend. So Wednesdays are wonderful, you know.
Wednesdays
Thank you
are
for
wonderful.
joining us. I mean, and we've got the Bishop in the studio.
We got the Bishop.
And
We got the Bishop.
That's a thrill for us because we get to listen to the Bishop quite often, and we share a studio with him.
Yes.
And so we get to hear his show quite often.
Yes.
And so this is going to be a great thrill for us.
I'm very excited about this one. He's so talented, and I've said to him many times, if I said it once, I said 1,000 times, how do you sit there and just talk by yourself? Johnnie and I interview. You know, that's
so
one thing.
good.
What he does is totally different.
Yeah, and
It's inspired.
And, you know, researching his background, this is a gospel music star, too. I didn't know about that.
Okay, it makes
So
me a
we're
little
gonna
jealous,
find out-
too.
we'll find out about that.
I know. I'm reading. I'm like, are you kidding me?
But
Come on.
this Sunshine is a big, big week.
It is a big week.
It's an exciting time because let's go and push it out there, folks.
Let's do it.
It's Deviled Egg Throwdown Week. And,
Yes.
Coming up Saturday, we're so unbelievably excited. The community has responded, and
Yeah.
a lot of folks are talking about the throwdown. A lot of advance tickets have been sold, which is great news for our great friends over
At the
public
library.
because we're raising money for the bookmobile.
That's right.
But yeah, still time to get ready to come on down and test the best deviled eggs from, what is it, 14 restaurants?
14 restaurants have signed up. We've got live music from Harrison
Yeah, it's
McCullough.
going to be a fun
He's
time.
donating his time. Thank you. And shout out to Harrison McCullough. We've got presenting sponsors, Town Square Media, BF Goodrich, and Harrison Construction. Johnnie, tell them what BF Goodrich is doing.
Yeah, and this is going to be down at Druid City Brewing, everybody. And every time you buy a ticket in advance, and however many you want to buy at the door, they go into the raffle because our friends at BF Goodrich, which is a presenting sponsor, are going to be providing a $1,000 BF Goodrich tire certificate.
Well, now you just answered the question as to why would I want to buy multiple tickets to an event when I can get in the door with one. Well, that's part of the answer.
That's only part.
So you're entered multiple times. However many tickets you get, you're entered multiple times into in that gift card or gift certificate for $1,000 from BF Goodrich. But also there's a People's Choice Award.
That's right.
So for every ticket you buy, you get an additional vote if you have a favorite restaurant that you would like to see win the People's Choice Award.
Stuff the ballot box.
Stuff that ballot box.
That's
And guess what? Every dime of that money goes towards the bookmobile.
And we're having 14 restaurants is wonderful, but what blows my mind is the diversity of our restaurants. I mean, deviled eggs from Germany, Asian-based, Hispanic-based, Southern barbecue-based. I can't wait for
You're making me hungry. agree.
And our friends at Peterbrook Chocolate are
Yes.
designing something really cool.
They are showing out. I mean, come on. Hashtag deviled egg dreams.
Oh.
I am so excited about that.
Can you imagine what that's going to be like?
Yeah. Yes. And thank you to our panel of judges. We've got Stephen DC. We've got Edie Hand. We've got Russell L. Estes. Shout out to you.
Yeah,
Thank you so much, cousin. You wrote the loveliest article about the throwdown.
You did.
Thank you so much. It's so appreciated.
And want to throw out thank yous also to some friends that just saw Tuscaloosa News ran an article, the Northport Gazette ran an article. And
I was unaware of that until just now.
The media has really been helpful, and especially here at Town Square.
Right.
Especially 95.3, The Bear with
Thank
Stephen
you to Stephen DC.
Has really, really been a huge,
and I think
huge,
Don Hartley's been talking about
Don
us.
Hartley has. So we've
We've
really
been
had
in the
great
thread.
support from Town Square. And I think that's the reason so many tickets are getting sold in advance.
And I've already told some of the people involved, okay, because this would be my vibe. There are going to be a lot of walk-ups,
Yes,
and they're going to buy
a
at the
lot.
door.
A lot of them.
I
by
would
the way,
totally do that
folks,
if it weren't my event.
And this is an event you don't have to worry about the rain. Now, we're hoping it's going to be
Right.
outside, but guess what? We've got a backup plan because Bo Hicks and his generosity, we can move inside Druid City Brewery. If we
Yes,
can.
thank you to Bo Hicks, and thank you to Restaurant 205 and
Yeah.
Bistro, in particular Cody Duffy and his team. Look, Brittany, Destiny, and Chef Nikki.
That's right.
Y'all rock. Thank you for all of the hard work you have put into this initiative. And I mean, they just jumped right on the bandwagon, didn't they,
and
Johnny?
I want to shout out to Marty Ball, too.
Yes.
Was by the library this morning. Marty has done a lot of quiet behind the scenes work. She's provided all of our badges and our admission tickets, and she had all the lanyards and everything ready this morning, and just making it. Everybody's doing such a good job.
Not only that, but they bringing up, and not only bringing them up, but completing details I never would have thought of in my wildest dreams to make it even better.
Yeah, I saw Cody's detailed list this morning, and it's just one check off after another. And
they are on it, man.
This is turning
civic-minded people
to a great community event with a great beneficiary, and that's our friends at the Tuscaloosa Public Library.
That is right. So later that evening, okay, again, so the throwdown, as we call it around here, the deviled egg throwdown, which is not, as Jan Simpson asked me this, which I loved. She said, "We're going to throw deviled eggs." I said, "No, ma'am." I was waiting. She was just the first to ask. It's a deviled egg competition, but after that concludes, which that again is 2 to 4 at Druid City Brewery, we're going to take a nap. Not together. We're going to go to our separate homes. That sounded bad. Everybody take a nap.
Big old sleep in.
Look, it's a sleep in at Druid City. No, Bo did not sign off on that. So we need to get a little rest at home. And then we're going to go to Restaurant 205 because guess what? There's a special performance by Stephanie Woodruff from 6 until 8 o'clock. Live at the 205.
It's going to be a celebration.
Yes, I love it. I love it. They've also got another charity fundraiser that day. It's called the Mom Prom at Bryant Conference Center that starts at 6 o'clock. And that is for foster care to benefit. Yeah. Yes, and another great initiative.
Yeah, and don't forget the night before at 205, there's a benefit bingo game too.
Thank you. No, that's on Thursday. That's tomorrow night, y'all.
That's right. Another benefit for,
and we're going to be there.
For our friends at the library, and that is Thursday night, beginning at 6
for
o'clock.
The library.
$5 buys you bingo cards.
And they got a grand prize, right, Johnny?
And the money is going to, guess what?
The bookmobile.
Yeah.
Yes.
So let's help the library week.
But they've offered up a grand prize of an overnight stay, and I think it's a $50 dinner
thing,
gift certificate or something,
something
which is incredible.
Yeah.
But there's something happening the day before that. Our good friend Ramsey O'Daniel is talking about Bloody Tuesday banquet that is honoring the foot soldiers of Bloody Tuesday. That's going to be at Beulah Baptist Church.
Yep.
That's May the 29th, and that's also from 6 to 8 o'clock. So admission is $40, and this is he framed it as really a community conversation about what happened, right?
Yeah, and we have to say thank you to Ramsey because he is the one that's been leading the Bloody Tuesday committee for a while, trying to create more awareness because Tuscaloosa has such a rich civil rights history, and this was a pivotal event in the civil rights movement, not only in Tuscaloosa, but nationwide.
Right.
And so Bloody Tuesday is something that we need to be able to commemorate and understand and just support what they're doing. And this is always a wonderful event. So if you're interested, please sign up and show up at Beulah Baptist Church.
For sure.
Great event.
And another quick reminder, so we've got the river market, and that's always on Saturday morning. That's what we always think about. Don't forget now, June and July.
Mm-hmm.
This is also going to be on Tuesday afternoons from 3 to 7.
Can I plug something that's going to happen today? That's going to show up on the noon show.
Okay, sure.
We, as everybody I think knows by now,
Yeah.
Lisa and I in the noon show got invited to be the only radio show in America
Oh my gosh!
to go
Bishop, you're going to love this.
to go to Indiana for the biggest Mayberry Festival in the country. We're going to be broadcasting live, and we've gotten to know a lot of good folks, again, through our friend, cousin Russell Estes.
Yes.
And today, we're going to have the pleasure of interviewing Dixie Griffith. Now, does his last name mean anything? You bet it does. It's Andy
Griffith's daughter.
And so we're going to have a chance to record an interview with her this afternoon, thanks to DC, right down the hallway. And we're going to play it back sometime the first of the week on the noon show, and also on 95.3 The Bear during
How cool is
Steve and DC's
that?
morning show. And this is in celebration of Andy Griffith's 100th birthday.
Happy birthday.
And so we're just thrilled about that. And we'll be talking more about the big Mayberry Fest coming up. And we're going to try and build a caravan up to our friends at the Mayberry Festival.
So Spencer, do you want to go?
Are you a Mayberry? Are you
Yeah.
a Mayberry fan?
I am a Matlock fan.
Oh, Matlock's
Oh,
even another.
even better. That works.
So
Oh, yeah.
I am just listen. I started off young, not dating myself with Andy Griffith, but
Mhm.
Matlock is my show. I look
He's
at
pretty
Matlock
cool.
today.
Matlock
today.
is one of my favorites.
Oh my goodness.
Oh yeah.
He was honestly cool on every single show he
Every
ever
single
did.
show.
Everything.
But
That
on
was his
June
vibe.
1st, he would have been 100 years old.
Isn't that something?
That's
Can you believe
amazing.
that?
That's amazing.
But his daughter is obviously in such demand
Sure.
during
For
this
this,
time.
yeah.
And so we've been able to lock in a little short interview with her. And in Andy Griffith's show, you remember what were the name of the two crazy girls that always showed up and gave Barney and
Were they sisters?
Daphne and who was the
Come on, Spencer, let's go.
Do not
You got
know. You got me on that one.
Anyway, Dixie Griffith plays one of those crazy
Really?
sisters,
Wow.
and she does tribute things,
Ah,
Oh,
and
wow.
she plays that part.
That is going to be great.
It's going to be
That
hilarious.
is going to be great. That
But
is going to be great.
So anyway, we'll be talking more about that.
yes, but I wanted to remind you all we have something else super exciting going on. We are right now in the middle of celebrating Hudson Pool's 41 wonderful years in business with a big anniversary sale, and it's happening now, guys, through May the 30th.
That's right, Sunshine. And right now you can save up to 60%. Think about that, off of fine jewelry and all of those gifts throughout their store. It's the perfect time to be shopping for like graduations and anniversaries and birthdays and all those special occasions this time of year. And also just because.
Remember that for your wifey, Spencer.
Because.
And also, Hudson Pool has a beautiful selection of fine jewelry, sparkling diamonds, watches, and unique gifts for every style and every budget.
And after more than 4 decades serving this community, imagine that. Hudson Pool is proud to still be the trusted name in fine jewelry and personal service.
But don't wait too long, y'all. You're going to want to shop early for the best selection during this anniversary sale.
That's right. Go visit our friends at Hudson Pool at 1111 Greensboro Avenue in beautiful downtown T-Town.
Celebrate life's special moments with something unforgettable.
Go see our good friends at Hudson Pool today.
And just tell them that Lisa and Johnnie sent you.
And they're such a great family.
They are.
Second generation is now pretty much running things while Poogie and Jamie are enjoying a little break time. And
Well
what
deserved.
great folks they are.
Well deserved.
Yes.
But I wanted to bring something up really quickly.
Okay.
So if you think quilting is just fabric and thread, you're going to want to think again.
Oh, yeah, because happening May 24th through May the 30th, Tuscaloosa is showcasing something that's part art, part history, and all heart.
That's right, Johnny. Cotton, cloth, and community. It's on display right now at the Moore Wilson Gallery inside the Random Welcome Center, and it's unlike anything you'd expect.
Yeah, we're talking about quilting traditions from all across Alabama, each piece telling a story that's been passed down for generations.
You're going to see the bicentennial quilt, okay? Y'all, it was created for Tuscaloosa's 200th anniversary, and there's even a quilt made by University of Alabama students. Roll Tide.
You're right. And boy, this is a powerhouse collaboration.
Yep.
Gorgas House Museum, UA Museums, the Freedom Quilting Bee Legacy, and our friends at the Bearfield College of Arts and Science.
Yeah, shout out to y'all. It's colorful, it's meaningful, and it connects you to the people and the stories that shaped our state.
So make plans to stop by between May 24th and May 30th. Don't wait, because it wraps up on May the 30th. By the way, it's free.
Oh, yeah, thanks for bringing that up, Johnny Rocket. Great reminder. Okay, y'all, cotton, cloth, and community is only for a limited time.
From our good friends at the Bearfield College of Arts and Sciences.
Roll Tide and roll research.
That's right.
Okay, guys, we got to go pay the bills. When we come back, we're going to be with Spencer Smith from Praise 93.3, a.k.a. The Bishop. You're not going to want to miss a single moment. You've been listening to The Noon Show on FM 100.1. Don't go away. We will be here right back.
Right.
And welcome back,
Yeah.
everybody. Thank you for joining us. This is going to be a great show. You're going to enjoy it. And talking with our friend here in the studio who shares this studio with us. We're honored by his presence for us today, and that's Bishop
That's right.
L. Spencer Smith.
Look, that's my lane, Johnny Rocket. So let me have it. So
You
in
can
case
have it, girl.
So in case you're just now joining us, we have in the Noon Show studio, and I'm going to get some information from you today, Pastor L. I don't know if that stands for Spencer Smith. He's a pastor, public theologian, author, mentor, and community leader here in Tuscaloosa. Today, we're going to be talking about purpose, passion, faith, leadership and what it really means to live fully. And we want to talk about you, Pastor.
Yes, we do.
Welcome to the Noon Show studio.
Thank you, Lisa. Thank you, Johnny, for having me today. I am just resplendently pleased to be here on this morning, well, this afternoon actually.
It's afternoon.
And just enjoying you all show. I'm enjoying
We enjoy you.
Oh my goodness.
It's an honor and a thrill.
It
for us.
is. And I can tell you from
really
day
is.
one, positive vibes. You know, I'm just going to say he walks the walk, talks the talk, walks the walk, whatever order you want to say it in. Because I did something really goofy. I'm calling myself out, and I still haven't forgiven myself, Pastor. And I don't even know if I want to say what it was, but it was a mistake. It was an honest mistake, and I could have died. But he's like, "No, you're okay.
It
You're
wasn't that
okay.
bad,
You're
though.
okay."
It really wasn't that bad.
How kind.
It's not.
No, how
Forget about
kind.
it, Lisa. Forget about it.
I'll try.
For our audience,
But I'm my own whipping post, okay? Oh.
for our audience, we do share a studio with
Yeah.
Spencer, and on primarily Tuesdays and Thursdays,
He still
he's
lets
in the
me in here
studio
during his time.
right
Yeah.
before we go on.
Yeah.
And this is the kindest man. He has to do his show, and there's certain time frames we all have to work on.
Correct.
And so the turnaround's a little quick, but Spencer always,
He's so kind.
he just gives us a little extra
and
time.
he still lets
slip
me
out
in the
early.
door, y'all.
Absolutely.
Or he'll invite us in and say, just be real
Yeah,
quiet,
I'm
and I'll
just-
let you set the
Yeah,
computer up.
set your computer up. I'm closing out the show. Y'all take over. It's great.
But he
But-
is such a delight. And
He is. But before we get too far into the conversation, Johnny Rocket, I want to know more about Spencer.
I do too.
What do you want?
Where
to
did
know?
you start? Where are you from?
Oh,
I know you've got a
sure,
wife and
yeah.
kids.
love
I want
talking
to know
about it.
everything.
Well, I am originally from Moncks Corner, South Carolina. That's
Really?
the low country right outside of Charleston, Goose Creek, Somerville.
Okay.
I was born and raised there with my parents, my two brothers, and my sister, and all of us. It was family. My grandparents lived there,
Okay.
and so it was when I was growing up. It was kind of rural
Mhm.
rural town kind of place, and so what was amazing. I'm a fourth generation preacher.
I did not know that.
Yes.
So cool.
It's all of the,
It's just
everybody
in
my
the blood,
family,
right?
Everybody
Oh.
in my family, right?
I see where it
And-
comes
and
from.
music.
Okay.
And music. Everybody in my family can sing or play something. So if you couldn't do that, they knew you were adopted or something. But that's how it was. And I think I lived in a close-knit community, and that's kind of where my desire, my love for community, and people really started growing up as a kid right there on Fenwick Drive in Moncks Corner, South Carolina. And going through school, we're big on education. Everybody is educated in our family. And just having that kind of connection with community. We're still great today, even though my parents have passed away and my grandparents as well. But when I go back home, I'm still in the neighborhood. Everybody knows me as Little Spencer,
Little
and
Spencer.
I love it. And I mean, it's a safe space.
Yeah.
Even at my big age, don't even worry about it. But even at my big age now, when I go back
I'm the last
home,
one to go there, Spencer.
right. When I go back home, it just feels like that old place, that old
Yeah.
safe space that I grew up in.
Will you
And-
trust us with what L stands for in Spencer Smith?
Sure. Now I'm going to do this in tribute to my mother because she named me.
Okay.
It's Leonard.
Okay.
It's Leonard,
That's
right?
lovely.
No. Okay.
No?
So yeah, I didn't like Leonard until I got to college because everybody called me Leonard. But
It's dignified.
She named me. Watch this.
Oh, you went by Leonard?
No. Yeah, at school.
Okay.
And my friends know me as Spencer, but my
Okay.
teachers and everybody else knew me as Leonard. And everybody in my family is named after somebody in my family except me. So she said when I was born, I had a big cry and I sounded like a little baby lion. So she named me after Winston Leonard Spencer Churchill.
That's regal
Okay.
then.
Right. So
Okay.
I'm named after Winston Leonard Spencer Churchill.
So
That's a cool
Leonard
story.
is regal, but Spencer is cool.
What a
That's a
cool
cool
Right,
name too.
right. So that's who I was like, Mom, why did you pick this? She said, because at that time he was a leader and he was the Lion of England. And I'm
That's
like,
right.
okay, all right. So she kind of cultivated that because
Yeah.
growing up, but I was like, oh my goodness, they didn't pronounce it right. But now that I've gotten older, it's just kind of a moniker L.
Kinda
But
Yeah.
I don't
L.
mind telling people
Spencer
what it is.
sounds kind of regal.
really does. That is
exactly.
cool.
But yeah, a lot of people don't know. But I'm named after Winston Leonard Spencer Churchill.
Okay,
I've traveled-
I love that.
I've traveled in low country. I do
Yeah.
these back road trips. So I probably went through Moncks
No,
Corner
you
and
probably
forgot
went
about
through.
it.
You're right. You probably went through.
But growing up in low country, that's a really different culture. It's
It
a
is.
unique culture.
Geechee Gullah culture. And so
Yeah.
we have our own linguistics.
What culture?
Geechee Gullah. That's
Yeah.
what it's called. If you
Yeah.
go there, you'll know us when you get to the Low Country because
Mm-hmm.
it has a Caribbean dialect. A lot of
does.
times it sounds a Bahamian, Jamaican. It can sound like that. And we have our own
On food.
food,
Oh,
everything. And we do a lot of zero copular linguistics. Like we leave out the word be, and I say, I good or you pretty. We leave out be.
Yeah.
We leave it out,
Yeah.
and it's just the kind
It's
of part of
different.
who we are. And when you go to
Sort of a laid back vibe in a way.
exactly,
Yeah.
and it's a lot of, again, doing when the transatlantic slave trade, the
Mhm.
biggest one of the biggest hubs there was Charleston.
That's right.
And my family comes from there, and they all moved out
Oh.
into further into the Low Country, Berkeley County, Charleston County,
Mhm.
Dorchester County is what we would consider. We're all down in Georgia as well.
Yeah,
Have
it's
that
a
same-
great part of the country. Savannah,
Yes,
Charleston.
yes.
One of my favorites, Beaufort.
Oh,
Great
yes.
little town, but it's such a lovely, rich, culturally
It
different
is.
kind of
It
vibe.
is. It is.
Yeah.
If you are ever Charleston, Hilton Head, Isle of Palms,
yes.
Mount
Oh,
Pleasant,
yes.
definitely.
Stop.
That very, very. You need to go there for a vacation. It
And-
is wonderful.
And
I
some
would love
best
to. I
coffee-
haven't
best
quite made it
coffee
there yet, but I would love to go. It's on my list.
absolutely.
I had
Yeah.
the pleasure of playing at Hilton
Hilton Head, yeah.
Kiowa,
Yeah,
Isle of Palms.
Yeah.
Oh, it's just, you won't, I'd like to live
Lisa,
there.
he didn't take you. He hasn't taken you to. He hasn't taken you
You
to.
know, I've only known him for about a year.
Okay, well, he needs to take you to Kiowa Island or Isles of Palm.
Okay.
Mount Pleasant, just the best golf course, the best food, the
Yeah.
best seafood.
That's true.
It is. You would really enjoy it.
Yeah, and the ingredients they use just a little bit different. The spices
Yep,
they use
uh-huh.
just a little bit
Mhm.
different, which
Mhm.
makes Low Country
Yeah.
probably one of the coolest places in America.
I
actually.
love it. I love it. I love it. And
Mhm.
so, how I got here, I met my wife when going to university, Florida
Mhm.
A&M University. Shout out Rattlers. But
I was about to suggest that, yes.
Right. But we've been together for 36 years this year. She was.
Congratulations.
Oh,
I was her. I'm the only boyfriend that my wife knew when she was a freshman in college, and so we
Alright.
got married. And we were going to stay in Florida, but her father started a church here the very day that we got together, November
Okay.
2nd, 1990, called the New Testament Baptist Church. Well, 6 years into the work, he died at 41. And so he didn't have a son. He only has 2 daughters, and he regarded me as his son. And so I was a pastor. I could preach. And, that's how I got here. They came and said, hey, he would want you to be the pastor. And so I've been
Yes.
pastoring here for 30 years. June, the third Sunday in June will be 30 years.
Wow.
wow.
That's terrific. And
Yeah. That's fascinating.
we can't
Look.
figure out who's going to do what.
Look, Spencer, we're going to have to go to break, but when we come back, I would like to know how in the world did you end up with a radio show on Praise 93.3?
Absolutely.
We will reveal the answer to that question and many more when we come back with the Bishop. You've been listening to the Noon Show on FM 100.1. Don't go away. We will be here right back.
Welcome back. That was a quick break, but we're certainly glad we've got some time because we got a special friend in the studio today, and Bishop L. Spencer Smith. Doesn't that sound real?
It really
Spencer
does.
Smith.
I love
Yeah,
it,
so
and
kind.
I'm
I
dying
like
to
that.
get back to him. But before we do, Johnny, most people don't stay with the same bank for 20 years.
Well, that's true, but Bryant Bank's just not any bank.
Well, but what makes it different?
Very simple. It's called trust. I
Oh.
mean, they've been consistent from day one, and that really matters to every single customer.
Johnny, it really does.
Yeah, you know what to expect. They're friendly people. They're true professionals. You get clear answers, and you get real help when you need it.
No surprises and no confusion.
That's right. And just good service every single time you walk through the door.
Well, you know what? That's what builds loyalty.
That's right. And that's what has kept so many customers there since they opened their doors almost 21 years ago.
That's amazing. You can visit Bryant Bank in any one of their beautiful locations, North River, Northport, and beautiful downtown T-Town, or online at bryantbank.com.
And remember, Bryant Bank is an equal housing lender and a member of
FDIC.
Go see our friends at Bryant Bank today. They're waiting on you.
They are, for sure. Okay, so Spencer, how in the world did you find your way here to Town Square Media?
That's a great story. A friend of mine, actually my frat brother, downstairs, Terry Banks, shout out to Terry.
Oh, shout out to Terry.
Right.
Hey, shout out to Terry.
He been calling me for a while and said, I think you ought to do a show. I think you ought to do a show. I'm like, yeah, I'm busy. I was traveling and, doing all that. He said, you got to do this show. You got to do this show. And so I talked to my mom about it. And she's like, why don't you just step out in it? I had done radio interviews with singing music and everything, but hosting my own show. And so he said, okay, just meet me at the radio station, meet me at the studio, and let's talk to the big man. Right? So we sat and talked. He said, hey, Bishop, you can do anything you want to do, talk about anything. I said, I want to talk about the community. I want to talk about culture. I want to talk about politics, religion, and that intersectionality. And he said, do whatever you want to do. And I believe that, what was it, April 2023 was my first show.
Okay.
And so we've been here for 3 years now, and it's been great. We won an Abbey Award our first year.
Congratulations.
We won a Gospel Stella Award for Small Market Station. It's just been blowing up. We are nominated again this year. So it's just been really great. It given me an opportunity to connect with our community in a very real way, and really, again, put Tuscaloosa on the map, because there's more to Alabama than just Montgomery and Birmingham. Right. Tuscaloosa has a place in Alabama, a rich place. And so letting people know exactly the great things that are going on here, that we are a city that's progressing.
Absolutely.
We are a city that's getting better and bigger as we every year, all of the things that's going on. And so, it's been a great run.
Yeah.
A great one. I got to meet you all.
Well, we got to meet you. and selfishly, I would like a little devotional type talk from you if you're up for it. So this is something I heard you talking about yesterday. So here's the question, Spencer. So what if the biggest risk in life isn't failure, but never fully becoming who you were meant to be? What would that mean to you, and what would you say about that?
I think people are imprisoned by the expectations of others. I think that they are accosted by this whole notion of perfection.
Amen to that.
And it's something that I call the paralysis of perfection. And so that they are so paralyzed to do anything because what they do, they think is not going to turn out perfect.
It is painful. I can tell you from experience.
Right? Yeah. And I think all of us kind of suffer from that paralysis of perfection.
Yeah, it's like an analysis paralysis. Perfection.
We're
right.
Afraid to fail.
You don't want to make a mistake.
But I think God's purpose for us is He mixes it and in His predestination for the fall, because it's the fall that introduces us to the grace. If you never fall, you never introduce His grace, you never meet His grace, and His grace is made perfect in weakness. So God says, hey, your issue is not perfection. That's me. I'll perfect that which concerns you. Your issue is obedience, and you be willingness to go and step out on faith. This whole broadcast is a walk of faith. You didn't know how it was going to work. I believe that there's something deeper inside of you that told you, hey, Lisa, Johnnie, step out on it. And it's growing year and day by day. However, go ahead, Lisa.
Why do you think faith is so difficult for some of us?
Because we are, especially in Western understanding, we think God is a God of certitude. We think God, you have to know. I gotta know. But God is a God of mystery. The Bible says simply this, that it is the glory of God to conceal a matter, but it's the honor of kings to search it out. So something about me, royalty comes out of me. A kingliness comes out of me when I begin to seek out and search and trust God, what He is hidden. The secret things belong to God, Deuteronomy 29:29. But the revealed things belong to us. But we've got to go and search them out, and it's a walk of faith every day. The just will live by faith. And if we don't walk it out by faith, there will be mysteries that God has set up for us that we will never discover, simply because we want to be certain about everything. This human mind takes us through conundrum and chaos and introduces us into places and spaces that probably we should never be. But when we learn how to walk by faith and say, God, hey, this is on you. Just take me where you want me to go. All of our steps are ordered by Him. Guess what?
It's just, and you're so right.
That's beautiful.
Because uncertainty is not something that we like.
We
want
uncertainty.
Everything.
That is the truth.
To be certain, to be lined up and ready to go without any questions.
Absolutely.
And that's not the way life works.
It's not the way life works at all.
So my guess is there's probably no room for anxiety if you're walking by faith.
Well,
Or
no,
would you
no,
say that?
no,
or
no, 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 no. See, again, I think that walk of faith introduces us to the elements that are on the inside of us. That's fear, that's anxiety,
Mhm.
that's even arrogance and conceit. That those things must be confronted before they can be conformed. If we don't confront them, then God can never fix them within us and say, "Hey, that's a problem for you. Fix that in this season."
That's right. And
Right.
even the Bible says, we like to quote just the first part of this
Right.
verse. It says, "Do not be anxious about anything."
Right.
But you got to read the rest of the
You
verse.
got to be the rest of the verse, but in
Because the
prayer,
rest of it talks
right?
about prayer
Yeah,
and
supplication. That's right.
all of that goes with it. That it doesn't say you're not going to be anxious,
No.
because you are.
You're right.
But do not be anxious is not the whole verse.
Do not be anxious. And, you know, Jesus said, take no thought. So a lot of times we take thoughts of anxiety, we take thoughts of depression, thoughts of
Yes,
discouragement.
yes.
And the reality of that is that it's not ours to take those thoughts. We have a choice whether we want to be anxious. And again, those are degrees of trust.
Yeah.
And I mean, when I first started out doing this work as a young pastor, as a young musician, a young singer, I was like, oh, I gotta have this, I gotta have this, gotta have this. And when I learned how to simply just use what God has given me, my gifts,
Yeah.
my talents,
Yeah.
what I was raised with, what I did in college, what I learned from my mom and my dad, who were singers and musicians in their own right. You know, do what I did when I was standing on my grandmother's fireplace, just singing. You know, no cares in the world, just belting out. Do that now. And what I found out in trusting what God has placed inside of me, it has opened so many doors.
Yeah.
Well,
And to your point, you know, I don't know how to ask this question, but God has a plan for everything.
Yes.
And we don't know the plan
Yeah.
often.
Right.
You know, we may have revealed some of it
Right,
to us,
correct.
I guess. But he also gave us the ability to choose what we do.
Absolutely.
And to your point, and if I'm understanding, we need to choose to walk by faith.
Absolutely.
I mean, you can choose not to.
You can choose not to, but you'll be stuck for the rest of your life.
But if you choose to walk by faith,
Right.
my understanding is God will reveal his plan
Exactly.
to you. Might be one small piece at a time.
Yeah.
But the good news is he's never going to leave us. He's going to take care of us.
Not one time. And I
Yeah.
think that's the blessing. You know, I love the narrative of Peter stepping out of the boat, right? And you know, Lord, if it's you, come, bid me come. He says, and Jesus has come, and he steps out the boat. And I'm thinking about, what is that first step like, right? I mean, it's the midst of the storm, it's the winds. The Bible says boisterous, and he still walks out. But then he takes his eyes away from Jesus, and he looks at this wind. He looks at the waves. He looks at all this. And the text says something very interesting. He began to sink, which means he doesn't sink immediately. He gets lower and lower. The more he looks at his circumstances, he gets lower and sinks lower. And he gets to Jesus, and he holds out his hand. He said, Lord, help me. And Jesus pulls him up and walks him back to where he is. And what I've learned is, once we keep our eyes on faith, once we keep our eyes on Christ, once we keep our eyes on God, and learn, despite our own human ingenuity, our own human comprehension, when we learn how to trust him, he will lead us to the exact place where we need to be. And you know, that's a message, I think, that is so apropos for everyone that's looking for hope.
That is a great message, and
Yes.
I hear you. We've got to learn to trust him. But Pastor, what would you say to that person who's listening, who wants to follow their passion,
Yeah.
but they're worried about, for example, what other people might think of them, especially if they fail? What advice would you give them?
If you didn't make me, you can't fail me.
Boom! Yes!
If you didn't make me, you can't fail me. And so a lot of times we pay attention to the critics and we pay attention to the audience, but we are on the stage. And so we just have to place and compartmentalize everyone where they need to be. You're not helping me build my business. You're not helping me do this. You're just criticizing. And you got to be very careful. Those of you who are listening to me, you got to be very careful not to listen to people who are more critics than constructors.
Yeah.
Because if they've never built anything,
Great point.
you can't talk about my house when you've never built anything.
Spencer,
That's
let's-
right.
Let's take it one, because Lisa's asked a great question. The other part of the question also is, we're often our own self-critic, aren't we?
Yes.
How do you approach that, and what guidance would you offer when we're tearing our own selves down, which happens often?
Yeah, I think, Johnny, one of the things that we've got to do is move from cognition to metacognition. What does I mean by that?
Mm.
Cognition is just your way of thinking. Metacognition is thinking about why you think how you think. And so, why am I thinking that I'm no good? Why do I think that it won't work? Why do I think this is going to fail? We have to do what Socrates did and put the question on examination instead of putting ourselves on examinations, because the whole issue is, as a man thinks in his heart, so is he. So what changes in the mind changes in the time. And so if I never get myself out of stinking thinking, then stink is all I'm going to get.
Stinking thinking, I love that.
Stink is all I'm going to get. And so, I've got to give myself a chance. I am God breathed. I am God ordained. I possess the image of God. And so for me, in my mind, I don't lose, I learn. Right. So, people are afraid to lose, but it's in the loss that you learn what you got to work on.
Yeah,
right.
that's right.
And so it's just redefining major concepts. I always teach people that wrong definitions leads to bad destinations.
Yeah.
If you define a thing wrong, you will end up where you're not supposed to be.
Yeah.
So I tell everybody, redefine yourself. Look at yourself in the mirror and say,
Mm-hmm.
hey, I'm fearfully and wonderfully made. You don't have to like me. But guess what? I'm still doing it. Yeah, absolutely. I'm still living my life.
Sunshine, he's reflecting something we hear from the secular world. A lot of researchers come to
Mhm.
visit us, and we love having them on the show. And they often will say, you can't have a fear of failure because that's where you learn.
That's what
That's
you
right.
just said the same thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
God made us that way.
You're hearing that
We
over
were
and
made
over
that
for a
way.
reason. That's a constant theme in this
Yeah.
studio.
Right. And you know what else I figured out is that failure introduces me to God's love.
Yeah. Yeah.
Perfect love casts out fear. And love covers a multitude of failure. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
A multitude of fault, a multitude of sin. And so when I fall, I'm not utterly cast down because his hand upholds me.
Yeah.
And when I fall, who better to pick me up but him, right?
That's right.
And so
That's
a lot
right.
of times we're so busy trying not to fall, we're so busy trying not to fail, but those are the things that introduces us to favor.
Yeah.
And so I've learned the favor of God by the things I got wrong, not by the things I got
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
It's by the things that I messed up, stunk up the joint. But here it is. God is still there. And when the dust settles and the smoke clears, I still have a friend. I
Yeah.
still have friends. closer
We
than
had a
brother.
friend on our show, and you're hitting this in so many different ways that came on. We asked him kind of what his kind of principles of life
Yeah.
were. He says, "Oh, that's simple: trust, faith, and obedience."
Absolutely.
And-
Absolutely.
And God made us that way, so failure should not be something that we're afraid of. Because
Should not
that,
be a barrier.
That
Right.
leads us
To
to
living your
trust,
life.
faith,
Yeah.
and if we obey,
If we obey. Yeah.
He will reveal a lot more to us.
Right. And it's not this harsh, caustic
Yeah.
obedience. It's this willingness of heart
Yeah.
to trust him. It goes right back in the cycle, right? It's this, I will do this. It's kind of like what David said in Psalm 51. Y'all got to excuse me because I study the Bible every day. So it just,
Obviously.
it's just, but he says, Lord, create in me a clean heart. And then
Mhm.
he says something, I think it's in the New Living Translation, make me willing to be willing. That's obedience.
Isn't that
Wow.
Make me willing to be willing to serve you. Make me
Oh.
willing to be
Yes.
willing to walk in your steps. And so it's not this hard, mean obedience. Do what I say.
Yeah.
But no, it's a submission. God, help my heart to want to align with you.
Yes.
And I think that when we do that, we learn how to trust him in a greater way.
So you may
Wow.
think this is silly, and that's okay. You can laugh at me. But when you're talking about, Lord, make me willing to be willing,
Yeah.
it makes me think about Tigger from Winnie the Pooh.
Yeah.
You
yeah.
know, have that Tigger attitude,
Yeah.
because I can tell you, shout out American Christian Academy. That's where my daughter went to school. So a shout out to Shirley Renfro. They had this assignment, Bishop, where they had to keep a journal and they would make an observation. For example, it's raining outside. So Eeyore would be like, "Oh no, it's raining again." Pooh would be like, "Oh well, it's raining. I guess it'll end soon." Tigger's out there jumping in the poles and making them
Exactly.
bada bing, bada,
Right.
right. So take it for, I love that. Make me willing to be willing. And Pastor, we've got to go to break, but when we come back, I want you to let our listeners know, how do they tune you in, when and where?
Right.
We're going to reveal the answer to that question and many more when we come back from the break. You've been listening to The Noon Show on FM 100.1. Don't go away. We will be here right back. 100.1 home of Fun
Oh, my
Radio.
goodness. What an
And
inspirational
also
day.
Pastor Spencer Smith.
This has been so inspiring. And I've got one little question I've got to slip in.
Well, go right ahead, Johnny Rocket.
And I want to know more about your gospel music background.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm glad we didn't miss that. Oh.
Well, I've been singing since I've been 4 years old.
Okay.
I can remember the day. It's just like yesterday. I was at my babysitter's, and my favorite fruit was a plum. And my mom was like, "Well, why don't you sing for your babysitter?" He called her Mama Ada. "Why don't you go sing for her?" And Mama Ada said, "If you sing for me, I'll give you a plum." Well, that was it. And so I sang my first song there, and I've been singing ever since. I started writing music, when I was around about 11, 12. Well, here's the deal. Now, you may not believe this, but this is just my faith, right? I couldn't play piano. And I was at my grandparents' house, and he came out of his room. He said, "If I prayed for you to play piano, would you always play for the Lord?" And I said, "Yes."
Oh, wow.
And so I was 9 years old at the time. He laid his hands on my hands and prayed for my hands to play, and I was playing ever since that day.
Are you kidding?
Ever since that day.
Whoa.
That's incredible.
Absolutely. And
Wow.
so I was starting to be our church musician.
Oh, my goodness.
And all of that. And that was my first occurrence, what I would call a miracle.
Yeah.
And again, I come from a family of singers and musicians, so everybody could sing and have music.
Mhm.
But I just didn't think, I knew I could sing, but I didn't think the music part was me.
Sure.
And so that was from that day to now. And so I started my professional music career in 1992.
Yeah.
And
You've got some good selling albums.
oh yeah. They're doing well, and I'm getting ready to release another one.
Are you ready?
Right now. The industry is so crazy. I don't want to get all of that, but it's so crazy. You just find the right deal. I think I just might do it independent
Mhm.
this time and just release my music.
A lot of people are doing that now.
Yeah, I think that's that's best for me. At 55, I'm not gonna be. That's my age. At 55, I'm not going to be running around like a new artist like I did in my 20s and my 30s. I'm not going to do that. And I've got a great fan base, a great support.
Mhm.
And so if I just release my music independently, I think between DistroKid, Apple, iTunes, all these different kind of things, I think we'll be okay.
And where do you find your music?
On Apple,
Okay.
Tidal, all of the DSPs, all of the digital service providers
Okay.
have my music. Has me and L. Spencer Smith in Testament. That's from my church. It has L. Spencer Smith, me as an individual, has our church choir on there. I've written for a lot of people. So yeah.
That's
Yeah.
what a fun. Can I get some prayers? Put my hands on her.
I need that too.
if Granddaddy was here, I would tell him yes.
Oh.
That was Granddaddy.
I'm
I'm
gonna have
telling
to
you.
seek out somebody.
That was
who can
my
do that.
grandfather.
I would need that. I
That
want
was
that
my
for my
granddaddy.
singing voice,
Oh
actually.
my goodness.
That was my grandfather. But listen, yeah, you all can hear me on from 10 to 12 on Praise 93.3 FM and 790 WTSK, The Truth. Every day, the Culture Call is on there. Again, that's Praise 93.3 FM and 790 WTSK AM, 790 AM on every day. The Culture Call is on from 10 to 12, and we just have a great time.
You
talking.
really do.
Yeah, we have
Yeah.
a great time.
Yeah. And kind of let's look ahead a little bit.
Yeah.
Where does L. Spencer Smith want to be in the next 5 years? I know one of the things you're working on, so
Well, listen.
we're looking forward to calling you Doctor.
Doctor, right. I'm finishing up, getting ready to apply for candidacy. I've done all of my coursework, so I'm finished with the student part of PhD. But I'm getting my PhD in public theology from Hampton University in Hampton, Virginia. And hopefully in the next year, in the next 5 years, I'll be Dr. L. Spencer Smith. This fall, I'll be teaching as an adjunct professor at UAB. And so just I really want to get back to education because that's what my degree is in, music education. So I want to get back to education, theological education. I want to teach people how to make the text work in everyday life. I think that what's going on in the world today, that there is a lack of understanding of what the Bible says in the marketplace, in how we allow ourselves to be developed in character and integrity, love for one another, really treating everybody how they ought to be treated as human beings. I think there was a place in that. I could have done practical theology, but yeah, I wanted to go into public theology because I really believe that there is something that will happen when teachers, city officials, doctors, everybody just understands that when I see you, I see somebody created in God's image. No matter how you come to me, that's not necessarily how you will remain, right? I believe that when you meet me, your life is going to change. That's just me. I believe that I have that power to elevate your thinking about yourself. And so within the next 5 years, I'll be Professor so-and-so at, in Alabama. I have no reason to move.
You said something that really caught my attention there, several things, but elevate your thinking about yourself.
Yeah.
How would one go about doing that? Would you suggest baby steps or just all at once, or what do you say about that?
I think everyone has, your oxygen is your ability to give yourself a chance. Okay?
True.
Right?
Okay.
Especially when we look in the Jewish understanding, Hebraic understanding, that God never wasted his breath. When he gave you breath, when he says, before I formed you in your mother's womb in Jeremiah, I knew you, that word know is yada, which means to be intimately related to the breath that he put inside of you. So every time you breathe, you got to give yourself a chance, because you wouldn't be here if God never gave you a chance. And so I think if we can disqualify the voices, both inward and outward, intrinsic and extrinsic, about what we think about ourselves, the lies, the rumors, even the realities, and give ourselves a chance to be, and then we can become, because become starts with the letter B. It starts with the verb be, rather, and you got to first give yourself a chance to be. You got to give yourself a chance to live this life and breathe the air that God has given you, because guess what? Nobody knows when breath is going to stop. Nobody knows when God's going to take his breath back. And I don't want it to be said, I know about me, hey, I give you my breath, but you didn't do anything with it because you were afraid of what everybody else thought. Don't let that be your epitaph. Don't let that be the thing that defines who you are. Every day, Lisa, every day, Johnny, I think we have an opportunity and a responsibility to God to live our best life. And so start right there. It might be baby steps. It might be, but you get better every day. And so growing up as an insecure kid, the middle child in my family, I learned how to give myself a chance. And I started watching God shine through me. And that's what I do every day now, and I empower other people to do that.
I think the hardest part is getting started, though.
Yeah,
The first step's always hard.
Oh, yes, but you got to take it.
Take one more step
Yeah.
with us. One of the things I've done over time, but I get away from it, but I know I need to be grounded in Scripture.
Yeah.
How do you advise individuals to use Scripture? Because the way you look at it, I really appreciate this public, applicable way of studying Scripture.
Right.
What do you tell people to do if they're in Scripture, or perhaps they're not, and they need to get started? Because Scripture is a foundation for everything, I would think.
Absolutely. Right. When I was a child, and I asked my granddad, Granddad, teach me how to study the Bible, because I was always infatuated with how we go to Genesis, Jeremiah, Ezekiel, Hosea, all these Bible. He says, no, son, what you need to do is start with Psalms and Proverbs. Start with the book of wisdom, Proverbs. Start with the singing. Start with the music, Psalms. And you will see a rich humanity there. Divinity indeed, but you will see the humanity come out of the text, and you will find yourself in the text, gleaning wisdom, seeing that it's okay to have pain, seeing that it's okay to grieve, that God is near in everything that goes on in your life. And when I begin to study the Psalms and Proverbs, I begin to find myself like, okay, wait a minute. I am human. And God loves me the way I am. And I've learned how to teach people the same way. If you start with those two books every day, just a passage here, a passage there, you'll start finding yourself and say, you know what? These are two very human books. I don't like to start off with something that's really dense, and deep, and people a lot of times want to start there. But if you start off with the basic Psalms, the Songs, and the wisdom books, you will find your humanity, and you will never connect to your divine self if you don't find your humanity first.
That's
And
great advice.
that's something very important.
What great advice.
Yes, that is great advice.
I hope our listeners, and I know I'm garnering some real truth here and some real encouragement. Spencer,
So,
you're a marvelous
Yes,
individual.
thank you
Bless
so
your
much.
heart.
Will you tell our listeners again
Wow.
really quickly where we can find you?
Listen, I'm on the air every day from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. on Praise 93.3 FM, 790 WTSK AM. This AM station 790 is. I'm there every day from 10 to 12 talking about everything community, everything politics, everything religion, everything you. And I right before Lisa and Johnny get on,
That's right.
so you got time. You can
That's
listen
right.
to both of us at the same time.
Yeah.
That's
But
right.
That's where I am every day.
And
it's
you
such
switch over
value.
to FM 100.1 as
Oh,
soon
and-
as Spencer gets off the air.
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
we love listening to you. I don't get every day, but I get a
Yeah,
lot. It's just a
awesome.
marvelous show.
Awesome.
Thank you so much for coming. And I have a special invitation for you, one that I've never extended to anyone else. And I will extend it to you as soon as I tell everyone who's coming
Okay.
on the show tomorrow. So tomorrow we have Dr. Jennifer Feltman. She's an internationally recognized specialist of Gothic architecture and sculpture in France. Her research addresses issues of the restoration of Gothic cathedrals, uses of technology, digital modeling, AI, and VR, and cultural heritage and education. She's following the destructive fire at the Cathedral of Notre Dame in Paris. She was appointed a member of the French Ministry of
Yes.
Culture and National Research Center's research group, and we're going to talk more about that tomorrow.
What an exciting
And
topic
it's going
that's
to be
going to
an absolutely fascinating
yeah.
show tomorrow. So I'm trying to remember who referred her to us. Do you remember?
Oh, goodness. Someone over at Bearfield. I know that's where it
Fairfield
was.
College of Science. She
Yeah.
was on the PBS Nova documentary. If you want to look at it tonight before we talk with her,
Yeah.
it's called Lost Tombs of Notre Dame.
How would you like to have been involved in reconstructing Notre Dame? Hands on, in person. I mean, what a marvelous
Yeah,
experience.
her project is called Notre Dame in Color.
Oh, wow.
And
This
it's
is
also
be
going to
great.
include a book of essays on the art and science of medieval polychrome sculptures written by international experts.
This is going to be fantastic.
Okay, so here is that invitation to the bishop. I usually close us out. Before I close us out, will you close us out your style really quickly?
Listen, everyone, I want you to know today that Lisa, Johnny, and we really want to encourage you to be who God has made you to be. This is a good day to give yourself a chance. And don't discount the things that you go through or the pits that you might fall in, because we serve a God who raises you out of the pit. And so this is exactly what you want to do today, is be who God has called you to be. Nothing more, nothing less, but dead center, live in integrity and character.
And what was that? Bushel and a peck and a what was that?
Listen, I love you, a bushel and a peck and a hug around the neck.
That's right.
Absolutely.
That's right, guys. Don't
Right
forget to
back at
spay or neuter your furry friends. We will see you back on the noon show tomorrow. Have a splendiferous rest of your day. I usually say